Hello and welcome back to the East Lake Pet Talk podcast. I'm veterinarian Dr. Karen Fling, joined with our lovely guest, Kristine Hickman, and of course my regular co-host here.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Will McCauley. Welcome back. This is our 20th show and I'm glad to have our guest in here. Kristine is actually with CEVA Animal Health and she's here to talk about a product that I love. I love to talk about with my clients and it definitely works.
Right, the whole Feliway line. I absolutely love it. And for anybody not familiar with Feliway, it's kind of a pheromone system type product, and Kristine will tell us more about it. But I love it because of the positive effects on behavior. And in fact, I was saying earlier that one of my mother's cats that I gave her was having elimination behavior problems. And nobody likes to talk about that. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And it's a cat problem a lot of times. Yes. But I tell you what, Feliway is what saved that cat and my mother's relationship with her. So I'm really grateful to you. So thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me, Dr. Fling and Dr. McCauley. I appreciate it. I've been representing the Feliway product line for a little over 3 years now, and I have seen phenomenal results in all of my vet practices that currently use this product. As Dr. Fling said, Feliway is a pheromone product. So the original Feliway that you see here, they come in different formulations. So we have a diffuser, which it's just like a Glade plug-in. You'll plug into the wall, and it will last for approximately 30 days. And what these pheromones are, they're a synthetic formulation of the F3 facial fraction pheromone. So when I first learned about this product, I didn't know a whole lot about cats. And so I always thought when cats rubbed their faces on me, they just liked me. Actually, they're marking their territory.
That's right, saying, you're mine. I'm marking that.
Exactly. You're safe, you're mine, I want you. And so when they rub their faces on different items, that's what they're doing. They're marking their territory. And so what this is a synthetic formulation of that same pheromone. And so with the original Feliway, this is kind of a territorial type product. Used for territorial issues. So we like to say inappropriate marking, like your mother's cat, or vertical scratching if you have cats that like to scratch up your furniture.
Right. We hear about that complaint all the time.
Lots.
And so, especially on couches, right
Yes.
at the arm point on the couch. I think
Curtains.
that's curtains, right? Exactly. Any vertical place. And a lot of times that determines whether somebody's willing to even have a cat or keep a cat. So, this stuff
Absolutely.
is great.
Yes. So we have the diffuser, which will last about 30 days. Plug it into your wall and put it in areas, where the cat's having their challenges, and things of that nature. Or we have the spray formulation. This is going to last about 3 to 4 hours. And the carrier of the pheromone in this is ethanol. So when you initially spray it, you're going to smell some alcohol. But don't worry, it's
That'll
going to evaporate.
quickly, right?
Yes,
Yep.
Absolutely. And so you'll just spray it on those areas. So where your cat is scratching or where they're inappropriately marking, that's where you're going to want it.
And I'll tell you where I like this product, either this product or this one here. This is actually a little Feliway wipe. I love these things in cat carriers when we have cats that are going to come see us at the veterinary clinic. And I think it really does help to take this and spritz it around the inside corners, outside corners of the carrier, or wipe it down if you choose to do that. Or sometimes you can spritz it on even an article of clothing
Absolutely.
from the family member, and then you've got that great combination of the owner's scent plus the pheromones, and I think it really helps.
Oh, it does a wonderful job. So, a lot of people don't realize that their animals are stressed. They think it's just kind of a normal behavior, but just like people, animals get stressed. And so when you're taking them to the veterinarian, sometimes, they're going to the doctor, so they're a little nervous.
That can definitely be stressful. We can pick up on that
Yes,
really quickly
exactly.
in the exam room.
I don't like going to the dentist, so.
Yes.
But just get a wipe or the spray and wipe the interior of the carrier, and it helps. And it's an immediate effect.
It really is. And in fact, at the East Lake Cat Care Center, we love the diffusers so much. We actually take these and we have them in each exam room for the kitty cats. So they're already going to be there. But if you're not from the Dallas area, or if your veterinarian doesn't use these products and you have a cat, speak up for your cat and suggest that your veterinarian might try using it, because we love them.
Tons of formulations too, but we have a new product as well. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely. It just came out about 3 weeks ago, and it is the Feliway Multicat. And so it's a different pheromone in this one. Cats have multiple pheromones, and this is one of the others. It's actually an appeasing pheromone. So with this particular diffuser, What this is for inter-cat aggression. So when you have 2 or more cats that like to fight, or you're introducing a new cat to your home, this is where you're going to want to utilize this particular diffuser.
So it just plugs in, and you just open this up and put it inside this diffuser. So that's great.
And it works about, each diffuser goes about 500 to 750 square feet.
Okay.
Is where you're going to want to use them in those rooms, take into consideration your ceiling height. So
okay. And is that unobstructed space, or does this stuff kind of go around corners, or do you want to do one per room, or what do you recommend?
It goes around corners and stuff. It's going to diffuse into the air, and so it takes about 24 hours for a 500 square foot space. And so, I heard one of, to give an example, one of my friends plugged in a diffuser, and she said the cat never would hang out in that space, and she just started hanging out underneath the diffuser.
I've heard that very same thing, and in fact, somebody sent me a picture of their pet just lounging right underneath where the diffuser is.
Good place to chill with that appeasement hormone.
Yes.
Appeasement hormone.
Yes, appeasing pheromone.
Do they make those for people? Because I would definitely buy that.
Exactly. I know it.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It really is.
It really
and
is.
I'm so glad that this product is available now, because that is such a common problem we deal with, and particularly through the pet orphanage, where we're adopting out lots of great kitty cats. That initial period, even when you bring a new cat into a household, can sometimes be such a challenge, and this would be good for that too, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And I had actually a technician tell me about their experience with this not too long ago, and she only had to use it for 3 months.
That's great.
Until the
got
anxiety
through the transition and everything was okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I know that we love Feliway products. They definitely work in the vast majority of cases. And so if you do have any questions on Feliway, or you'd like to, maybe find out if your veterinarian carries it, call them up, or you can always call us and leave us a voicemail at 972-808-6038, or send us an email at podcast@welovepets.net. Kristine, thanks a lot for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you bringing all this out and educating us on it. Come back and see us again.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. And we're going to let Kristine step away to go help more cats, but we'll be back in just a moment to have more Pet Talk podcast.
Be right back.
Thanks so much. Well, that was a lot of fun having Kristine here.
I love having guests in, especially when they bring those cool products like Feliway, that new formula. That's going to be great.
Right. Well, speaking of fun having Kristine here in Feliway,
something going on over
there.
there.
A whole lot of fun going on in this basket here. Hey, guys.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah. We've got little Ana here. Ana is one of our pets of the week. She was found by a neighbor, Miss Jenny.
Oh, hello, Ana.
There we go, Ana.
Hey there.
And then here's brother Olaf.
Oh, wow.
There he
Look at
is.
that.
Isn't he adorable?
Cute ones, yes.
And of course, when we found these guys, we checked them for microchips, but no such luck. And so we're trying to see if we can find an owner, but we've gone door to door. And so sadly, these guys are just part of the statistics we see in the city of precious dogs that get lost or born as strays. And anyway, those are the ones we help here at East Lake Pet Orphanage.
That's right. I'd like to mention, if they do become ELPOs, we aren't able to find their owner, before we adopt them out, we always make sure that they're either spayed or neutered. They get all their vaccinations. They are heartworm tested. If they do have heartworms, we treat them for heartworms. We send them out with a good diet, a dewormer, make sure that they're all fully healthy before we ever adopt anyone out.
Absolutely. And you mentioned good diet. That's such an important thing to consider. We do want to make sure that our pets are fed appropriately, because after all, food is the first medicine. And I came across an article recently that really gave a lot of helpful tips. And one of the things that was mentioned in the article was about making sure that the company that makes your pet's food is actually the company that makes the food.
Yeah, very true.
So a lot of times there are secondary food manufacturers that basically companies may operate under a name that's basically a marketing company driven sort of brand.
They hire an outside group to make the food and they just sell it.
Right. And I was surprised to learn in this particular article that Diamond Foods, for example, makes a lot of these pet foods. And I think they make over 30 different brands under one label. And so basically they're making chicken soup for the pet lover's soul, Canidae, Kirkland, Solid Gold, Wolf King, Taste of the Wild, 4Health, Professional, and Premium Edge, to name a few. And so a lot of times people don't really realize that.
Yeah,
and
they think they're buying a certain kind and they think that it has a dedicated factory where the place does its own procurement, its own packaging,
Right.
processing, but really that may not be true.
Right. And some of these pet foods, by the marketing, you have the idea that it's a couple making this food in their own kitchen.
Yep, yeah.
And really it's maybe one of these secondary vendors that produces the food for lots of companies. So be sure of what's marketing and what's nutrition.
Right.
And you do want to make sure that the pet food that you use for your pets is backed by a veterinary nutritionist. And I know we both agree on that and how important a veterinary nutritionist's role is in making sure that the foods we feed our pets are nutritionally balanced. And
Some of
then-
these companies, they'll have somebody who claims to know a lot about veterinary nutrition, but in reality, they just say, up the protein levels, decrease the grain levels, and that's the food we're going to sell. When
Yeah.
really that may not be the way to go. Veterinary nutritionists are the building block and really the foundation that these companies that we like to recommend base all their diets on. They do the clinical trials and everything to make sure that they do what they say they're going to do.
Right. And you mentioned the clinical trials. There are a lot of foods out there that are made without any clinical trials. They're just made up recipes, not even based on science. So, and if in doubt, there is a great list, the Whole Dog Journal, where you can look up your pet's food to see if perhaps it's one of the more reputable ones. And if in doubt, always consult with your pet's doctor.
Whole Dog Journal. That's good resource to
Yes.
have. I know that I think in there it also talked about some raw diets, and I think we should have a show at a later date just on raw diets because although they may be trendy and sound like the way to go, they do pose a real risk to pets.
Right. And the raw diets in particular, they listed out some of the bacteria that are being found in these foods. And so you're dealing with anything from salmonella to listeria to toxoplasmosis to E. coli
Oh, bad
to
news.
trichinella. So all sorts of things that are much more likely to be seen in raw food. So if in doubt, consult your pet's doctor.
Always.
And if you do have questions for us here, you can always email us or call us on the show.
That's right. Yeah, talking about things that may be dangerous to pets. We know that Easter is coming up. We talked about this, kind of teased it last week. Easter is just around the corner, and everybody loves Easter. You have the family coming in, you have all the candy, but there are things that may actually be dangerous for your pet family member.
Indeed.
So, I know that I love chocolate. You love chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? Actually, dogs like chocolate too, but it doesn't like them back.
That's right.
So you need to remember when you have all those chocolate bunnies and Reese's peanut butter cups and everything in the basket, get that away from your pet. Don't have it on a low-sitting table or on the floor. It's best to not have it in the same room because
Right.
pets have shown some serious ability to get on top of
Yes.
tables when they want to
we've
find
talked
stuff.
about that before. We lost a family Chihuahua
That's right.
to toxic levels of chocolate, and
That's
it
right.
didn't take that much for a little tiny dog, and so heartbreaking. We had no idea that the little pup could get a hold of the chocolate, had it in a different room upstairs, totally out of the way, but it happened. So
Yeah.
really think ahead about that.
Keep an eye on your pets at all times around that. Other things you may not know, or you may know, Easter lilies are actually very toxic to cats. And cats, for whatever reason, they love to chew on and eat these plants. All parts of the lily plant are toxic. And I know we like to have the Easter bouquets with lilies in them, but they
Yes.
are very renotoxic, so
Yes.
kidney toxic.
Yeah, they hurt those kidneys permanently or even fatally. So it's a big deal. And, I love flowers. I don't think there's any secret about that. And I love sending flowers. That's just one of the ways that I like to brighten somebody's day. But I think you've got to really ask some questions of your florist that you use, too, to make sure that you selectively don't send flowers to somebody that are going to have something toxic in it.
Yeah, something potentially that can hurt their cats. Other things that cats will eat at Easter is the Easter grass that lines the bottom of the Easter baskets, whether it's real or fake. The real stuff probably isn't quite as bad, but the fake stuff is actually made of plastic. And when they eat that, it can form a linear foreign body that we may have talked about in our previous show and
Right.
just saw through those layers of the bowel and cause real big problems that actually require surgery in a lot of cases to go
Right,
fix.
right.
And so be sure that your cat isn't able to get to those Easter baskets as well. And then the last thing is xylitol. Xylitol is actually a sugar alcohol that's in a lot of different candies, specifically sugarless gum. So a lot of the sugarless gums have xylitol replacing the natural sugar, which is fine for us, but it is very toxic in our pets. It can cause big-time issues.
Right. It's hard to be too serious or too worried about much when you've got a puppy kissing you
Well,
constantly.
that makes the day so much better. But
It
that's why we
does.
have this show, actually, is to make sure that everyone out there can take care of their pets, make sure that their pets can stay in their lives for as long as possible.
That's
and
right. They
keep
bring
you,
us lots of joy.
keep you healthy and happy. Yep.
And we're about out of time this week, but we'll be back with more next week. Same time, same place on the East Lake Pet Talk podcast.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks so much.